Hello there, and welcome back to episode number 2 of Commander Jesse's Briefings. Today we are joined by the one, the only Tony from Star Wars SITH. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Now, I spoke to Jeremy from Blore on Mandalore last night, and I was telling him how this is like sort of my first time being on the other side of things, being the
Mhm.
interviewer rather than interviewee, and he wanted me to personally pass on that he got to take my virginity last night and not you.
Damn, wow. So he's throwing it in my face
He
sloppy
is.
seconds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeremy,
Yep.
I'm gonna get you, bro. Just wait. I'm gonna remember this. And in Japan at Celebration, when I see him first, you're done, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll see.
It's coming. Yeah. 5 months away, 6 months away. It's coming, Jeremy. That's your warning.
Yep.
Now, I thought we'd start straight from the beginning where it all started. Like, look, what are your first memories of the franchise and how old were you?
So definitely it was the early 90s.
Yeah.
I was a kid at home and my dad put me onto it. So my
Yeah.
dad had the VHS trilogy box set
Mhm.
that where you would like slide it up, it would open up, and then you would have the three VHSs in it.
Yeah.
And I think it had to be like 92, maybe 93. And that's when I first saw it on VHS. So I fell in love with it right away. And like back in the 90s, it was on TV a lot. So I remember
Yeah,
every
okay.
time I was watching TV,
Yeah.
if it popped on, I stopped, watched it, and depending on which one it was, after it finished on TV, I would take out the VHS and just go right to the next one and keep it going like
Yeah.
nonstop. So definitely remember that as a kid in the 90s until 99 came and I got to see every prequel movie in theaters the day it came out. And it just, I remember going to the theater for every single movie. I remember what theater, how old I was, where it was. And it was just such an amazing experience to be able to do that and remember all that.
Unreal. And even saying like you used to watch them on TV all the time. I was doing that in the 2000s as well. Like it would always, I even remember the channel, it was always on channel 10 on a Saturday night,
Mhm.
Friday, Saturday night. And yeah, the ads were the only thing that sucked. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I remember doing that as well. That's like jogged a core memory for me. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So because obviously when you first started watching it, that was before the special editions came out back in, was it
Yep.
97? So
Yeah.
did you go back and watch them all again when those special editions first came out?
Not in theaters, no.
Yeah,
So, like, I still just watched my OG box set
yeah.
until Phantom Menace, and then I didn't see the special editions till, like, maybe much later on.
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember seeing them, but, like, I know at some point in my life, I had to have seen them 'cause
Yeah,
I've seen all the added scenes in A
yeah.
New Hope and this and that. So, at some point in life, I did see those, those special editions, but I don't really remember when.
Yeah, okay, yep, interesting. Now, what was it about Star Wars that you think drew you to the universe?
Dude, it was everything, man.
Yeah,
Lightsabers,
yeah,
freaking Vader,
yeah,
space battles, stormtroopers. It just was a combination of everything. Cause like you never seen nothing like
yeah.
that. And just like even back to A New Hope, bro, when he's like, "You fought in the Clone Wars?" Like, what the hell's the Clone Wars?
What
That
are the
sounds
Clone
so
Wars?
cool. Yeah, so it's just you just fell in love with it right away, man.
Yeah,
It's just something about the lightsabers, the
yeah,
force, like them just having that the power, and then like when you realize it's like father and son, brother and sister, it just hits
yeah,
even more, and it has more meaning because it's all about like family and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's like you can't watch it and not like fall in love with it. It's just
yeah,
so much cool, especially as a kid.
yeah,
Like there's just so much cool stuff in there growing up. And then seeing like in Empire, seeing Boba Fett
yeah,
and hearing him walk with the spurs and
yeah,
seeing his slave one, it's like you just fall in love with everything. And I remember in the prequels, like re-falling in love with everything. Like Phantom Menace being like, yo, that's young Obi-Wan Kenobi. Holy
yeah,
crap. And like, oh, that's Anakin. And then I think it was more Attack of the Clones, which is super slept on, but like seeing young Boba Fett,
yeah,
meeting Jango Fett,
yeah,
Dooku, the clones, Kamino. like so much stuff in there. It's like, wow. And then no, we saw 3PO and Phantom Menace. Seeing 3PO and
Yeah,
R2 for the
yeah,
first time,
yeah,
like, was really, really, like, special.
yeah, and obviously, like, seeing the origins of him as well, like, C-3PO was just, like,
Yeah.
this naked silver droid at one point.
From Anakin, that's,
Yeah,
like, it's crazy, like, that's Darth Vader basically made C-3PO. It's,
I
like,
know,
so wild when you think about it.
I know, I know. Um, what character do you feel you relate to the most, and why?
Oh, so that's a good question
Yeah.
because Maul's my favorite, but I don't really
Yeah,
relate to him because dude's always losing, bro. I love Maul, but he's always losing. Relate to,
Tony only wins.
uh I don't know, probably Luke, man, to be
Yeah,
honest, right? Because Luke was like, he always wanted to do so much, but he couldn't because, like, Uncle Owen wouldn't let him leave, so he was stuck there.
yeah,
So I could kind of relate to that as a kid, like not
yeah,
being able to like maybe like stay out late or go do this or do that when
yeah,
other kids in the neighborhood could,
yeah,
and you're kind of stuck at home till you get older,
yeah,
like Luke. So I would say probably like Luke the most,
yeah,
especially Luke growing up, because like he stayed good, but like in Return of the Jedi, like if he needed a force choke you to get in, he
yeah,
got in. Like he
yeah,
did what he needed to do.
yeah,
And I'm kind of the same way too, where I'm like good in life, but if you piss me off, I'm gonna do
yeah,
like what I need to
yeah,
do. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of Star Wars content these days with more films being made, series, and all that. What one stands out to you in particular? What film, what series would you say is your favorite, and why? Why does it
Ooh,
stand out to you? Yeah,
dude, Ahsoka, man,
yeah,
Ahsoka
nice.
show. Ahsoka is so special. Like, was it perfect? No. And like, before it came out, we knew it was gonna end like on a cliffhanger. It
Yeah,
wasn't gonna be a complete story. Like, we knew that, but I loved Rebels so much. So Ahsoka is literally Rebels season 5. It's a
yeah,
continuation. So I love seeing all those characters. Freaking Anakin coming back blew me away. Like, I love Hayden, grew up on the prequels, watching
yeah,
in the theater. So that episode number 5 was so special seeing him
yeah,
Clone Wars armor, Revenge of the Sith armor, Sith eyes with the red blade on the with that we've never seen on that hilt.
yeah.
Bro, it was just mind blowing.
I know.
And even like Ahsoka in there and young Ahsoka, like the flashback when she's like, "This is the Clone Wars," and you have Rex running around in the background, the gunships, like the Ahsoka show was my favorite, and then like it also proved that no matter what you say about Disney and stuff, they can make new stuff that we like. Because
Yeah,
for the
for
most
sure.
part, I think Balin and Shin, most people agreed were like they felt so Star Wars,
Yeah,
but they were completely new. We knew nothing about them. And like that's what I'm most excited for next is Ahsoka season 2,
yeah.
mainly for Balin and Shin.
Mhm.
Cause like what the hell's Balin looking for? The Mortis God stuff is mind blowing that we might get that in live
Yeah,
action. So that's why Ahsoka is my favorite. It's just because it was so fun to watch and like, dude, at the end of Ahsoka, Thrawn pulls up to live action Dathomir with a bunch of Night
yeah.
Sisters and dead bodies. Like, what's gonna go on there? Like, the potential is crazy.
I know, I know. I don't know if do you remember the Master and Apprentice short that came out on Disney Plus?
Yes, yes.
So I remember because the rumor going around was always, okay, Anakin's gonna pop up in episode 5. And so that's
Yep.
what sort of everyone was thinking. And because Ahsoka was coming out 10:30 in the morning for me.
Mhm.
And so I was waking up, sort of checking like Twitter notifications and that before I'd get on and watch it. But I remember the morning of episode 4, they said, I got a tweet notification, but I was half asleep, so I didn't even think twice about it. Because Master and Apprentice was originally going to air the Friday for us after episode 5 had dropped. But I got a
Mhm.
tweet notification saying it had been brought forward a week to the Friday after episode 4 on the morning of that Ahsoka episode dropping. Did not
Yeah.
think twice about it. And so that obviously then Anakin pops up at the end of episode 4, and I was like, "Ah, okay,
Yeah.
that's why, okay."
Dude, that end of episode 4 caught me off guard. Like, if you go on my channel and watch my
Yeah,
reaction video, I was choked up and I was almost in tears. I couldn't finish the reaction, the
yeah,
end, because like we knew we were gonna get Anakin at some point. We knew probably episode 5,
yeah,
but I didn't expect it in episode 4 in the world between worlds, and for
Mm,
him to look so good, it
yeah.
just like it hit so, and there were no leaks or rumors that,
Nah, they
oh,
did
he's gonna be
so
in this
well.
there was nothing.
They did so
That's
well.
why it truly hit me, and I'm like,
Mm,
yo, Hayden's back. It was
yeah.
so special.
I know, man, like, I normally and anytime a new Star Wars episode drops, I'll normally, watch it, like, with my mate on Discord and that.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure he muted me for, like, 5, 10 minutes when Anakin popped up because he just knew he could just hear me losing my shit. I was like, "There is
Yeah, yeah.
no way we got Anakin now." And you're right, he looked perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was unreal. Quickly switching to sort of the content creation side of stuff,
Mhm.
when did you start and why? Why did you start?
So I started my channel 2 years ago. So it was like May, June of
Mhm.
2022.
Yep,
And it was because of Star Wars Celebration. So
yep,
literally, I made my channel because I wanted just to make videos at
yep,
Star Wars Celebration just to show people what it was and how fun it is. Because literally, tons of people have never been to a celebration or didn't even know what it was. And I'm like, yo, this is so much fun. At that point, I've been to two, and I'm like, yo, if you love Star Wars, you need to at one point check out a celebration.
yep,
So that's why I started the channel, because like I go anyway, why not just record it?
yep,
And it just grew from there, because celebration is like every other year, it's not
yeah,
all the time. So
yeah,
like when I'm not doing it, I'm doing like reaction videos, other conventions, unboxings,
yep,
live streams, podcasts, everything Star Wars related.
yep. Unreal. And then we all finally get to go to one this year, or next year, I should say. But yeah. Um,
Yeah.
what obviously so you've been doing it for and obviously that would have coincided with Kenobi series dropping as well. Um,
Yeah.
what sort of challenges have you had along the way and what lessons do you think you've learned out of those challenges?
I mean, challenges, the only challenge for me really is just balancing my time
Yep,
and making sure I don't burn out, which I haven't yet, which
yep,
is good. But that's the biggest challenge, like working a regular full-time job and almost doing YouTube full-time, because YouTube, like, bro, it
yeah,
it takes time,
yeah,
it's
for sure.
work to do
Yeah,
things. So that was my biggest thing, was just learning how to balance it. And like what I found, what I do a lot is whenever I have free time, I really use it to my advantage to make
yep,
sure I'm planning things out, I'm scheduling things. Maybe I'm batch recording videos. Like, bro, today I was off. I think
yep.
I recorded 3 videos. Like I went out
Oh my god.
and I did like a toy hunt. So I went to
Yeah,
like
yep.
3 different spots. So literally I'm chopped that up into 3
Dang.
different videos. I'm
Awesome.
recording this with you. I got another podcast later tonight live with
Yeah.
Hannah. So and I got an hour and a half nap today. So I'm chilling. So it's like
You can do it all.
really balancing your time and and finding that balance, that way you could have time for work, have time for yourself,
Yeah.
have time to create content. But like the content I do, it's like cheating, bro. Like this is stuff that I do anyway. So even
Yeah.
if I didn't have YouTube,
Yeah.
I still would have went to these toy stores today, toy hunting. I still would watch these shows.
Yeah.
I'm still going to Celebration. So like it's crazy. And I joke with people at work, because like a lot of this stuff now that I'm a content creator, a lot of the stuff is considered a tax write-off, like for tax purposes and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, bro, like 80% of my life is a tax write-off, because everything I do,
Yeah.
I pretty much record, and
Yeah.
it has to do with my channel, which is crazy. But the main thing is just having fun with it too. Because if you're not having fun, then why do it, man? You're just gonna
Exactly.
burn yourself out, man.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Obviously, yep. So you've been doing it for just over 2 years now.
Yep.
What would you say? Obviously, you've had some like unreal celebration experiences and convention experiences, and we'll definitely get to that. But on the just pure content creation side of stuff, what would you say has been your one or like a couple of your
So
highlights?
honestly, it's just meeting so many cool people. Like, bro, like I have you,
Yeah,
Isaac, Jeremy, Hannah. I
yeah.
have like 4 good friends in Australia,
You've
which is
got four
crazy.
different
I've never
places.
been
Yeah,
there.
you got four different places to stay. Yeah,
Exactly.
yep.
So it's making those relationships with people all over the world, and then when we meet up in person,
Mm,
it's like as if we knew each other forever.
I
Like at
know.
ICCC when I
Yeah,
went last month, or a couple weeks ago, I met up with a lot of people from
Yeah.
online that I've never met in person,
Mm.
and it was so natural. It was like we've been friends forever. It was so cool. So I would say that's the best thing is just like making these friends, and they're just like lifelong friends now. It's insane. So
Yeah.
you just meet such kind people, and that's probably the best thing from that I've gotten from this is just having all new friends that
Yeah.
are amazing people I could count on, rely on, talk to,
For
and
sure,
that are
yeah.
all over the world. Yeah.
Unreal. Jeremy said the same thing, and yeah, look, I 100% agree. It's been unreal the amount of people and the quality of people that you meet doing this, and you're all Star Wars fans, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
you start off with that, and then you start going into other stuff as well, and just life and that. It's unreal. It really is. Um,
Yes.
Obviously, you're doing extremely well with the content creation stuff. What do you have any goals in mind, or are you just like going with the flow, or
So I definitely want to do this full time.
yeah,
I know realistically some point in 2025 I should slash will be able to. I'm just waiting till I get to the right point
yeah,
to go all in.
awesome.
So I definitely want to do it full time, stay doing it full time because no matter what, like this is what I always did in my life. So like I'm gonna
Exactly.
keep doing it.
Yeah,
So it's just focusing on that, and then in the meantime, just staying as consistent as I can be, just to continue to grow and keep everything relevant and going with the channel, but just doing it full time. And I just love making like the celebration content,
yeah,
like explaining things to people and showing people how it works. Cause one of the most rewarding things is when I go to these cons and people come up to me and they say, "Thank you for your video. Like I'm here because like I felt more comfortable going because
unreal,
of watching your video." It's crazy. Even at
unreal.
ICCC,
Yeah,
this one lady, she came up to me and she was like, "Man, I'm here because you recommended it. I'm going to Celebration next year." And she had the time of her life at ICCC. She went with
unreal.
her two sons, and that was so cool that
That's
that
awesome.
they had an amazing experience from watching like one of my videos talking about how much fun it is. And in London at Celebration, that was the crazy one because ton of people came up to me, excuse me, and they were like, "Man, like I'm here because of your videos. Like I bought an extra day because you recommended it. I
So
had the
cool.
confidence to come because like you know you broke everything down." So that stuff never gets old. It's just I just love that, man, so much.
That's so cool. That's unreal. Because yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably the one that's obviously known as sort of like that or the convention or that celebration kind of like you're that guy because yeah, obviously
Yep.
you're probably the one. I use you sometimes as well, like because I haven't done a celebration before either. So you're a real good because you've a real good reference for that because you've not only got the information but then you've also got the experience side of stuff as well. So yeah, no,
Yes.
you definitely sort of give off that more comfortable aspect of it for sure. Now that actually leads in really well because I do want to get onto the conventions and that sort of thing
Mhm.
because what you guys get in America like makes Australia look like nothing because we've got two main ones that we get each year. We've got Oz Comic Con and Supernova.
Yeah.
Supernova is actually on this weekend for me in my town, and we got Anthony Daniels, so I'll get to meet C3PO, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I think Hannah's going too.
To what, the Adelaide one, or is she going up
I
to
I I think so. I think she's going to one of those, like, because
Yeah,
I think she mentioned Anthony Daniels is gonna be there, and she wants to
yeah.
try to meet him.
Wow, okay, because yeah, there's the one in Adelaide this weekend, and there's, one up in Brisbane, like, where Isaac is next weekend, so
Oh,
she
maybe it's
yeah,
that one.
yeah,
Brisbane, whatever.
Brisbane.
Because she made fun of me because I couldn't say it. Brisbane?
Yeah, yeah,
Brisbane?
Brisbane, yeah, Brisbane, yeah,
Brisbane.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's yeah. That's brought me back to a childhood book I used to read based on, like, Aussie sports and that, and part of it there was a little segment there where the main character meets an American on the plane, and that's the whole joke. I'm off to Brisbane."
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my god, so funny.
Same with, like, Melbourne, I think a lot of Americans say Melbourne and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Melbourne.
No. Love it. Yeah, so obviously you guys get a lot of conventions over there. What would you say is do you have one favorite in particular, or do you have a couple favorites?
Oh, so ICCC hands down is my
Yeah,
favorite,
yeah,
especially after this last one. So that one is like you have to go to every year for sure. MegaCon in Orlando is
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah,
I mean, I'm spoiled because I'm always by it, whether I live in Orlando or I'm like an hour away. But it
Yeah.
also is the biggest convention in the state of Florida. It's literally like New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con,
Mhm.
but the only difference is the big name brands aren't at MegaCon, like Sideshow, Hot
Yeah.
Toys, Lego, they're not there. But other than that, the guest level at MegaCon,
Yeah.
dude, freaking Hayden and Hewen were
I know
there last
yeah.
year. I got the dual photo.
Mm.
Entire Back to the Future cast was there.
Oh,
Cast was there. Loki was there. Like it was beyond stacked. So, um, ICCC celebrations, of course, whenever they're happening.
yeah.
MegaCon for sure. Those I would say are the must. But then, like being in the states, like you said, dude, we're spoiled. In
Mm.
Florida, there's a company called Florida Toy Shows, and they do random pop up toy shows
Oh, that's so
throughout
cool.
the whole state. So this weekend here in Tampa, I got the Florida Extravaganza Toy Show, which I always find crazy stuff there,
Yeah.
like old Star Wars Unleashed figures,
Yeah.
this, that. So this weekend, I'm going to that show and I'm gonna find crazy stuff. But
Unreal.
we get a lot of stuff like that, man.
Yeah. Now, I constantly see the meet and greets you put up on Instagram, and a little bit of me dies inside each time that I still haven't met Hayden and Ewan and I mean freaking Mark
Mm.
Hamill. Do you have like a coolest convention experience, or do you just have like a top three? Like I got to meet these guys, or
Dude,
is there like a particular interaction? Or yeah,
dude, dude. So, Fan Expo Chicago,
yeah,
I went there for Mark Hamill, but I
yeah.
had a better experience with Hayden,
Oh
which
no.
made no sense to me. Now, meeting Mark was unreal. Like,
Hmm.
Luke Skywalker, got a single photo with him,
Yeah,
got an auto with him, amazing, right?
yeah,
But then the second day, I did the dual photo with Mark and Hayden. So when I walked up, I was like, "Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing? Hey, Hayden." When Hayden looked at me, he looked at me as if he like recognized me and he was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" and dapped me up before the photo. And I was like, "Oh, cool." Like, and when I left, like, first of all, like seeing those two sitting side by side was unreal.
yeah, yeah,
Unreal.
yeah,
But then after that, after processing that, and I'm like, did he recognize me? Because
yeah,
before this, I've done a single photo with him at MegaCon, a dual photo at London Celebration with him and Ewan, and a dual photo with him and Ewan at
yeah,
MegaCon. So I've seen him 3 times. So that would have been my fourth.
yeah,
So I was like, there's no way he remembered me. So we're having lunch that day, and my boy Navo, he had an extra Hayden autograph ticket that he was selling. And he was like, "Do you want to buy it?" And it was Hayden was sold out.
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh man, I don't know." And he was like, I'll give it to you for less than what I paid. I was like, okay,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can't
Twist
not
my
buy it.
arm.
Like,
Yeah. Done.
yeah. So I bought that. So I went and got an autograph from him that night. So I had a plaque with me to get signed.
Yeah.
I brought it with me just in case.
Yeah.
And I went in. The guy slid the plaque over to Hayden. Hayden looked at the plaque. He looked up at me and smiled. Dude, I wrote down what he wrote because like I was in shock. It was crazy. Hold on, here it is. So he looked at me and he literally said, "We've met a few times before, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
No way.
yeah, yeah, we like it blew my mind that he remembered
That's
that we've
unreal.
had interactions, and he wasn't referring to, "Oh, we did the dual photo
Yeah.
that morning."
Yeah.
He said, "We've met a few times
Yeah.
before," which was insane.
Yeah. I think I just
So,
dropped dead on the spot.
dude, I did on the inside, but I
Yeah.
had to stay composed because it's the chosen one,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it gets better, just
Yeah.
wait. So that was, in August,
Mhm.
Fan Expo Chicago. He was coming to Tampa the next week for Tampa Bay Comic Con. So literally, after I get my autograph, we talked for a little bit. I was like, "All right, man, thanks. I'll see you next week in Tampa at Tampa Bay Comic Con."
Yeah.
He was like, "All right, cool, man." So then when I left, I was like, "Man, now I have
You
to
have to do it.
get an autograph in Tampa." Like I wasn't planning on doing it because I've already met him a bunch,
Yep.
but now it's like, dude, like he remembered me. Now I want to go again because and just talk to him even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fast forward to the next week. I bring my Vader helmet to get signed, and I'm in line and I'm watching his interactions with everyone. And I don't know if the people were just scared or nervous or didn't want to talk, but like it was all very quick. There wasn't
Okay.
much
Yeah.
talking going on, and I was like, "What? That was kind of weird."
Mm.
But not when I got up there, bro. When I got up
Really?
there, dude. So like he looked at me, gave me that hating smile. I was like, "Oh I was like, "Hey man, how you doing, man?" And he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And then I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, so how was the rest of your weekend in Chicago?" Because he was there the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Man, it was good. It was good." And he was like, "So where do you call home?" And I'm like, "Oh, I live here. I live here in Tampa. I'm
Yeah.
local. I live right here by the convention center." He's like, "Oh, cool, cool. So what are we doing here?" So then I asked him to sign here on the helmet,
Yeah.
and for quotes, you have to pay extra. So I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
trying to pay 200 for a quote,
Yeah.
but like before he signed, I said, "Hey, would you mind writing Anakin is gone?" Like I didn't ask for a full quote. I just said, "Can you write Anakin is gone?" And he was like, "Sure." He's like, "Do you want me to just do the whole quote?" And I was like, "Yeah." So
Yes, please.
he wrote the whole quote, "Anakin is gone, I am what remains," and then wrote Darth Vader, which usually that's extra too,
Yeah.
writing the
Yeah.
character name,
Yeah.
writing the quote. He did all that, and then as he was doing that, I gave him, my stickers, my card for my channel, and my Japan Celebration pin that I'm gonna be passing out over there. I
So
gave that to
cool.
him, and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then he was looking at it, and then he looked at me and he said, "What's your name?"
Oh,
And I was
that's
like,
beautiful.
I'm Tony. Nice to officially meet you." So, like, the chosen one knows me as a
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
knows my name is Tampa, knows my name is Tony, knows
Mm.
I live in Florida. It's just it was crazy. And now the next con I go to, if he's there, I have to go
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
to see if he remembers my name. Because bro, if I pull up and he's like, "Hey Tony, what's up?" I'm gonna pass out. So I'm actually looking into getting those Ray-Bans that have the cameras built in,
Oh,
'cause
sick. You
I
need
need
that.
that. Like, imagine my video, I'm walking up to Hayden and he says, "Hey, Tony, how you doing?" Dude, what?
At least
Bro.
the paramedics will have footage for when you pass out. They'll be like, "Okay, yeah, no, we get it. We
Yes.
get it." Yeah.
So,
That's
I would
unreal.
say the Hayden experience was, the best, but, like, there's so many good ones because like, meeting Shin at Ocala Comic Con, bro,
Yeah.
she is so nice in
Yeah.
person. She
Yeah.
takes her time to talk with you. She was awesome. Anaheim, I did the dual photo with
Yeah.
Daniel Logan and Tamora Morrison.
Oh,
Bro,
so
Tamora
cool.
is so
He
funny.
is.
He's
He
so
is.
cool. So almost I like knock on wood, I've never
Mhm.
really had a bad interaction with anybody I've ever met. It's all been great,
Yeah.
smooth, sometimes quicker than others, but they've all been great experiences.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Talking like that's probably one of the biggest things I admire about Star Wars is a lot of actors besides, like your Samuel L. Jacksons and maybe even like your Liam Neesons and that, a lot of people that are in Star Wars is the biggest thing they've done. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
which is obvious because it's massive. But a lot of the actors, like, you never hear a bad word about them at all. Like, they're just lovely people, and, like, I we don't get a lot of conventions here, obviously, but the couple we had last year I went to, and we got Emily Swallow at the first one. She was the nicest person
Yes.
you'll ever meet. And then at the one probably about a year ago today, Tamura was there.
Mm.
Tamura is like you said, he is the funniest guy. Like, couple quick stories, like, got my photo. And I normally try not to fanboy too much, but because we don't get to meet a lot, like, you're probably a bit more used to it. I don't know if it's always the same feeling every time you meet him or if there is an element that you get used to. But that was only
No,
it's always the
you
same.
yeah, like I've seen Hayden 6 times now, bro. Every time
Oh,
feels like the
dude.
first. You're like, "Yo, it's the chosen one." It never changes, bro. It's
Yeah,
always like, "Oh my god, you're this person." Yeah.
yeah. Because yeah, I like you. It's probably the same at your conventions. Like there's sort of a bit of a lineup going into that photo booth, and then you get to the last couple, and you can actually see them. And I was like, oh my god, it's Tamira Morrison.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, I walk up to him to have my photo, shake his hand and that. He asked my name, and I was like I just sort of blurted I was like, "Dude, I love you." Like, he's like, "Thank you so much."
Yes.
"Please keep coming back. Like, we want you back in Star Wars. Please keep coming back." He's like, "Dude, I'm trying."
Yes.
And as we walk off, I was like, "I just gotta get in one quick question." I was like, because that was what? Maybe 6, 8 weeks after we saw Rex and Ahsoka. And so
Mhm.
I was like, were you just the voice or were you in the suit too?" He's like, "Nah." He's like, "Nah,
Ooh.
I just did the voice." And
Ah.
then maybe 45 minutes later, I was lining up for his autograph booth, and there was a dude in front
Uh-huh.
of me, a kid in front of me. He was on crutches, and they just had a motorbike crash. And he gets up to Tamura ahead of me, and Tamura immediately trying to guess like why he's on crutches. He does the we riding a bike, but he's doing it like a bantha thing.
The Bantha?
Yeah. And so so he moves on and he sees me again. He remembers the question I'd asked him about Rex and that. And he picks up like answering. He's like, yeah. So he's like, I didn't actually remember like when it was gonna be because he was just watching it as a fan. And he's like, I didn't actually remember where that scene would be.
Ooh.
And he just recreated that, that Leo DiCaprio meme where he's on the chair pointing at the TV. And he's like he's
Yeah.
like he's like, "That's
Oh,
me." He's like, "When he popped up,
yeah.
that's me." I was like, "That's crazy." But yeah, like,
Dude,
I've only met
Tamora
yeah,
is he's so awesome. That the energy, man. I only met him at that photo op. I need to get an autograph so I could talk to him. But
dude,
like,
yeah.
dude, it's just you look at him and you don't know who to think. Like
Mm,
Django, Boba,
I know,
Cody. Like, dude, you're everybody.
I know, yeah. Like, it's like because he was meant to be coming to Adelaide again, but he had to cancel, but he'll be in Brisbane next week, so that might be the one Hannah's going to because 'cause there'll be Tamura and Anthony Daniels,
Mm,
because they released obviously the Boba Fett and the Jango Fett, like those legacy pops. So I've got all 4, so I was like I was hoping he would be coming because I was like, I could get a Django one signed now too because I got a Boba Fett signed one last
yeah.
year, so that'd be cool to have both of them, but yeah. Now Star Wars Celebration, obviously you are the man for Star Wars Celebration. If it's even possible, can you, like, quickly summarize what can we expect at Star Wars Celebration, especially for us newbies like me?
Oh,
Mm. Yep,
fun, happiness, and it's gonna be something you've never experienced at any convention ever.
yep,
Because when I went to my first one, it was 2017 in Orlando. I found it by accident because I lived in Orlando and
yep,
I saw banners on iDrive right by the convention center,
yep,
and I'm like, what is celebration?
yep.
So me and my buddy Ricky, Pop the Bounty Collector, we bought 2 days. We just did Thursday, Friday because we figured 2 days is enough. Like we
Mhm.
don't even know what it is,
Yeah,
and we had the time of our lives. That Saturday and Sunday not being there, we were like, why didn't we just do all 4 days? Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah,
So the second they announced Chicago was next for 5 days, booked the 5 day badge, booked the flight, booked the hotel, and we haven't missed since then.
yeah,
It's just such a unique thing because it's a convention, it's like a con, but everything is Star Wars, and everybody there is happy, loves Star Wars, and is so laid back and is just chilling. It's such a unique vibe that I can't really explain it. It's
yeah,
just an energy that's there. And I like love it. It's so unique and
yeah,
it's so much fun.
yeah,
That's why I love going, man, because it's like such a vibe. It's such
yeah.
a vibe.
Now you said so did the Chicago go that went for 5 days in Chicago?
Dude, 5 so Orlando was 4,
Yeah,
Chicago was 5, Anaheim was 4,
yeah,
London was 4.
yeah,
Japan is only 3, which is
yeah,
weird,
yeah,
but 2008, it was in Japan then as well, and
yeah.
it was only 3 days then, so I don't know if it's, like,
Okay.
a cultural thing, maybe in Japan, like, they
Yeah,
only do shorter conventions than longer,
yeah.
but, yeah, Chicago was 5 days, bro. It
Unreal.
was Chicago was my favorite celebration
Yeah.
out of the 4 that I've been to.
Unreal. Now, jumping back into the actual Star Wars, I know your favorite character is Maul. What is it about Maul for you? Is it that nostalgia that, Phantom Menace was the first film you got to see in cinemas and, he's this iconic villain with a double-ended lightsaber? What is it about Maul for you?
So it wasn't always Maul, but like it started back in '98 when the
Yeah.
trailer dropped for
Yeah.
Phantom Menace for '99. Seeing dude in the trailer and Ignite double blade blew my mind. Like
Mm.
I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So that always left an impression on me as a kid. But then dude got chopped in half and died
Yeah.
first movie. I'm like, oh, what was that? But it was years later on. I didn't see Clone Wars and Rebels
Yeah.
until way after.
Yeah.
So I didn't know Maul was back until
Okay.
I saw the Solo movie, bro. I'm watching
Wow.
Solo
Oh.
in theaters, and dude, yeah, like it was crazy. At the end of Solo, I'm like, he's dead. How is he there? I knew nothing of animation.
Yeah,
So
okay,
Solo
yeah.
was what, 2018.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
2018, I'm clueless to
yeah,
everything animation, and when I'm leaving Solo, I'm Googling like Darth Maul figuring it out. And then I learned, okay, some guy named Dave Filoni and George brought back Maul in Clone Wars
yeah,
and in Rebels.
yeah.
So I went home. That's back when it was on Netflix. So
Mhm.
I binged the 6 seasons of Clone Wars on Netflix,
Yeah,
and then as soon as I finished that, I binged the 4 seasons of Rebels. Fell in love with both of those shows because
yeah.
the shows were amazing,
Mhm.
but then, like, all the Maul in there was crazy.
Yeah,
Seeing Spider Legs Maul, then he got his robot legs, then the stuff with his brother
yeah.
trying to overthrow Palps was
Mhm.
crazy, and then in Rebels, Old Man Maul, the
Yeah,
Shadow hiding where in the by the temple
yeah,
and trying to like take Ezra to the dark side
yeah,
and then finding Kenobi. It's just like, dude, Maul is my guy, man.
yeah,
It's just that is what put it to the edge. Like Filoni adding so much more depth to that character.
yeah,
And he looks awesome. He looks
yeah,
awesome in live action,
yeah,
in animation. Like, dude is awesome, bro. That's my
yeah.
guy.
Unreal. Now, do you as a Maul diehard, do you love obviously, it was an unreal ending that we got in Rebels. Would you if you had the option, would you rather keep that, or would you rather his story have continued in George Lucas's sort of sequel treatment?
Dude,
Yeah.
we got robbed. George Lucas's sequels was supposed to be Maul training Darth Talon
Yeah.
to fight Luke in his Jedi
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
dude. Like I bro, I don't understand why George gave that idea to Disney. Like, here's
Mm,
the idea for the sequels,
I know. Are
and they said no. Are you like
you kidding me?
so no, of course I would want that.
Yeah.
Bro, imagine seeing Darth Maul
Oh, dude.
fighting Luke Skywalker. What?
Unreal.
Dude,
Unreal. I would have loved
yeah.
to have seen that scene where he realizes, especially in Clone Wars, how he's after the Chosen One
Oh,
and he realizes he's fighting the Chosen One's son. Like,
son,
imagine something like that, dude.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping we might end up with a little scene like that, maybe with Thrawn. Like, you saw his reaction when he realized Anakin was Ahsoka's master. If we
Yeah.
get a
No,
Luke
yep, yep.
if we get a
Dude,
Luke
so
link up,
that
yeah.
is that's gonna happen because
I
when it
know.
like 100% Luke is gonna come and
Has
deal
to.
with Thrawn.
Has
But
to.
the moment Thrawn strategically figures out that Luke Skywalker, the son of Anakin, he's gonna have a look on his face like, oh, like this is
Yeah.
not good. Like
Mm.
Anakin was trouble. This is his son.
Yeah.
So we are 100% are gonna get that moment, and
Yeah.
I feel like that'll be on the big screen. That'll be like in Dave's movie,
Yeah.
and just to see that reaction,
Mm.
bro, it's gonna be priceless. Another thing Dave needs to show us, and I swear to God, if he doesn't, I'm gonna be so pissed at David, Mr. Filoni. But we need to see a flashback of Luke and Ahsoka meeting for the first time, and them both realizing that Ahsoka's realizing that's Anakin's son, and then Luke realizing that's my father's Padawan. Like,
Yeah.
we need that
We'll get
moment,
it. We'll
that first
100% get
interaction.
it.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
seen there's a I can't remember where it's from, but there is a little interview with Filoni where he does mention he's like he knows the story in his head of when it
yeah. He
happens.
has it. I know.
He just needs to figure out where to put it. And oh dude, I
Yeah,
get goosebumps talking
that
about that stuff, but it's gonna
that
yeah.
that'll either be in his movie, or I could see it in Ahsoka season 2,
Yeah.
like Ahsoka training on Peridia with Force Ghost Anakin, and then
Yeah.
maybe she's like, "Oh, you're this is when the first time I met your father," and flashes back to it.
Oh
Dude,
dude.
that just would be so
I
emotional
know.
when we get that, because in Book of Boba, bro, like people don't talk about that scene when she
Mm,
said like, "You're so much like your father," bro.
yeah.
My like jaw dropped
I
when she
know.
said that.
I
Like, that
know.
was a big deal.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. Um Now, obviously, yeah, so you're a Maul diehard. On the flip side, do you have a favorite Jedi? And if so, why that Jedi? What do you admire most about them?
It's dude, that's so hard to pick
I
one
know it
Jedi
is. It is, dude. I
'cause
know.
growing up, it was Luke.
Yeah.
For most people, it was Luke growing up. It's
Mhm.
freaking Luke,
Yeah.
right? And then, like, Anakin, because bro, growing up watching the prequels, meeting Hayden knowing me even more, it's like, bro, of course I love Anakin.
Yeah.
But now lately, bro, I've been on this Yoda kick. Like,
Okay.
I love the little guy. Like, I was rewatching the OT recently, and
Yep.
just like everything with him, like this dude was ahead of his time. Even back then, like everything he says,
Yep.
is relevant and makes sense no matter what you have going on in life. So lately, I've been on a huge Yoda kick where like
Yeah.
Yoda's my dude right now, man.
Mhm. Talking about that that Book of Boba Fett episode just jogged my memory because I've had this photo of this piece of concept art I saw from that episode right at the end where he's making
Uh
Grogu
huh.
choose between the Mandalorian or being a Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, but I remember I saw it and I haven't actually seen a lot of people talk about because this is like mind blowing to me. The concept art, you know how he's initially got Yoda's lightsaber on one side and the Mandalorian armor on the other?
Uh huh.
In the concept art, it's
Yeah.
not Yoda's lightsaber. He's got Anakin's lightsaber sitting there.
Oh,
I'll
interesting. Well, you know what it
quickly
was?
yeah.
Maybe you have it?
Yeah, I've got it here, yeah. I'll share screen if yeah, right here. So he's got Anakin's saber there.
Oh, but
Yeah.
is it like a shorter version of Anakin's?
Um,
No, I think that might still
nah.
be
Nah,
I
this
think
yeah.
it's still I think it's still Yoda's, because like if you look at Yoda's hilt, it looks like a mini like Anakin Vader hilt almost. I
Yeah.
think just that I think it still is.
Has to be
I don't
Anakin's.
know.
That has to be Anakin's, doesn't it?
But it looks too little though.
I know, that's the thing. It does look quite small. That was actually the thing. When I got my
'Cause
first theory saber, that was actually the thing that shocked me the most because 'cause I'm used to the Hasbro Black Series ones.
oh
When I
god, the
got that
chunky
one
boys.
yeah, the chunky boys. When I got theories, I was like, "Okay, so this is actually what it feels like."
This yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. That has to be Anakin's, doesn't it? That is Anakin's.
I don't know. I just think it kinda looks like it, but if you bring up a picture of Yoda's saber regularly, it
Yeah.
kinda looks like a mini version of it anyway, so it could be just the art style, and I am dying for Yoda's saber. I keep bugging Theory like, "Bro, when are you gonna get it? Get
Yeah,
Yoda's saber. I
yeah.
need the little guys." Selfishly, I want Yoda's saber just so that when I travel, it's a lot easier to pack.
Oh, for
'Cause like
sure.
Japan, I don't wanna bring a big hilt and a big blade, but the little guy with the little blade,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, I'll bring that with me.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So you got Yoda's there. So the grips on it, you're right. It could be like artistic impressions,
Oh,
but like the grips
yeah.
on them are different, and you don't have. See how the
That
light's
middle
shining
piece,
off that
yeah, it
point where that
is.
red's. Yeah,
It is a little different, yeah.
that just always like struck me as so like interesting. Yeah, they had Anakin's saber there as well. I mean, Luke.
Or
Yeah,
as if he made, like, a similar version of Anakin Saber,
I
but Yoda size.
I know, I know. Now here's what because when I was coming up with questions, I was like, I want ones that they have to actually stop and think on for a second. I don't want ones that they can just answer
Yeah,
straight up.
yeah.
So, which character's development do you find the most compelling through the whole saga? Now, this could be comics, series, movies, video games, literally anything.
Well, it's crazy, like, I say Anakin for a lot of stuff just
Yeah,
because he's my friend now,
yeah,
but
yep,
Anakin is crazy because technically, like, the character of Anakin and not just, like, Hayden
yep,
started in A New Hope in '77 with Vader,
yep,
and it's to this day, dude is still getting character development. He
yeah,
came back in Ahsoka.
mm-hmm,
He was giving his Padawan a final lesson from beyond,
yeah,
and he was a Force ghost. He's gonna be in season 2. So Anakin has the longest run of
yeah,
development from 77 to 2024 and beyond.
yeah,
But honestly, probably Ahsoka, man. Ahsoka has had the most character development in all of Star Wars. I can't think of anybody else who's
yeah,
had more. All 7 seasons of Clone Wars. She popped up in
yeah,
Rebels. She popped up in Tales of the Jedi. She popped up in Mando. She popped up in Boba. She's in Ahsoka.
yeah,
She's gonna be in season 2. She's
mm-hmm,
gonna be in these movies.
yeah.
So I'd say the character of Ahsoka has had probably the most development.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because we've gotten so much of her, and, like, my favorite version of Ahsoka is Rebels. Her
Yeah.
in
Okay. Yeah.
Rebels is my favorite because
Mm,
she was just so badass and,
yeah.
like, yo, you don't mess with Rebels
Yeah.
Ahsoka.
For
She was
sure.
taking out Inquisitors left and right like it was nothing, man.
Now the next question I almost modeled off because you ask a question when you have guests on that I really love, and it's along the lines of if you could make one Star Wars project, what would you want to see?
Ooh.
So I've altered it slightly here, but if you could change one
Mhm.
storyline in Star Wars, what would it be and how would you change it?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
damn, there's
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Mhm.
I probably would go man, there's so much, there's so much,
Yeah,
there's
I know.
so many things I
I kn
wanna
I
change,
know.
but honestly, I probably it's gonna be Kenobi, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it would have always probably been Kenobi,
Yeah.
even before seeing Stuart Beattie's version
Oh,
of what he
dude.
would have did it. Yeah, but, like, for Kenobi in general, I
Yeah.
like, there for the way that it was, you tweak a few things and it makes so much sense. Like, the stuff with Riva, what's crazy is like I'm not a huge fan of Riva at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
selfishly because she took more screen time away
Oh,
from
yeah.
Hayden and Ewan. Because
Mhm.
we all watched that show for the boys.
Oh,
We did
100%.
not care about nobody else,
100%.
nobody else. But like, if you think of the concept of Riva, it is kind of dope
Oh,
because
for
like
sure.
Jedi survived Order 66, turn Inquisitor, hunting Jedi's.
Mhm.
We've had that before in Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Trilla, and
Yeah.
Trilla is my favorite Inquisitor, and
Wow,
we
okay,
love
yeah.
Trilla, but we don't love Riva.
Mhm.
I think with Riva, she should have died
Oh,
to Vader because
exactly.
her surviving Vader twice makes no sense. Her
Exactly.
living on knowing Luke is Anakin's son and where he lives is not
Yeah.
okay.
No.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
So if I could change anything, it'd be tweaking that
Yeah.
things and a few other things.
Yeah.
Basically, whatever Kai Patterson did for his cut,
Oh, yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
that's what they should have did for Kenobi.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it with Stuart Beattie's original ideas, but like I'd wanna change, like, stuff in Book of Boba to make Boba more Boba.
I know,
I'd
yeah.
wanna change stuff in the sequels to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Even Acolyte, bro. Acolyte could have been a
Big
banger.
thing.
It should have
100%.
been about it should have been nothing but Sith. It should have been the reverse. A ton of Sith and a little bit of Jedi,
Yeah.
not a lot of Jedi
Yeah.
and barely no Sith. It should have been the reverse.
Yeah.
So, but I think Kenobi, because that one like means the most to me
Yeah.
growing up with Hayden and
Yeah.
Ewan. That's the one that should have been a home run. That's like having Michael Jordan, LeBron
Yeah.
James, Kobe on the USA
Yeah.
team and losing
And
and
yeah.
not getting the gold.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
It made no sense to me how it didn't
Mhm.
hit. At least that final battle was dope,
Yeah.
and, like, that conversation was really, really good,
Yeah.
but, like, dude, you had Hayden and Ewan, like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure, for sure. So I don't know if you've seen it. I plug it like literally every chance I get. But I got that scene tattooed, that broken mask Vader scene. Yeah,
Yes.
because when I sent it to my tattoo artist, like he's a huge Star Wars as well fan as well. Like got a whole sleeve and that. I was like, look, the lighting in Kenobi wasn't great, so I was like, I don't know if these reference images will be good enough for you. So he's like, I'll see what I can find. And that was
Mhm.
just when the Hot Toy statue had been announced for pre-order back then. So he modeled it
Yeah.
off that. I was like, unreal. And so I was like, I have to get the statue now. So I've got the Hot Toy statue sitting up there, and I've got the
Yeah.
tattoo of the Hot Toy statue as well. But yeah, it's that like yeah, that had me sobbing, man. Like I watch it with my mate
Dude,
on Discord, and I was like through tears. I'm just saying this is so fucking good.
that's why on the helmet I got is
Yeah,
signed, it's up there. That's why I had him put that quote
yeah,
because that moment hit
yeah.
so hard,
Mm,
man.
yeah, I know. Because I remember because I those episodes were releasing at like they were coming out like 6 o'clock time those ones, and so I was still at work,
Yeah.
so I'd have to stay off Twitter and everything. The only thing I'd seen about the
Mm.
last episode was Theory crying again, so I was like, okay, there's going to be something good in here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was matching up his reaction to that, and I was like, "Wait, he didn't cry at the Vader Kenobi stuff." I was like, "What else happened?" And that was when, obviously, when Qui Gon popped up as well. I was like, "Okay, cool, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah."
Yep.
Um, Now, obviously, talking about quotes, this is actually a perfect segue. What's your favorite Star Wars quote, and why does it resonate with you?
Oh, dude, that's so tough.
I know.
Because there's so much. It's gotta be something that Yoda says, man. It's
Yeah.
like, do or do not, there is no try.
Mhm.
Because like you could live by that. Basically anything and everything Yoda said, because my
Mm.
man spits
Yeah.
rhymes and everything is relevant. but there's like, this is where the fun begins. Like I love
Yeah,
saying that all
yeah,
the time. I use it all the time.
yeah,
Um, there's just so much. It's hard to pick one single quote.
yeah,
Um, but probably like Yoda, like do or
yeah,
do not, there is no try. Like,
yeah,
or what did he say? Something about that is why you fail. I don't know. He just
yeah,
bangers.
yeah. Empire was
Empire.
full
Give
of
me
them.
em-
Yeah,
Empire Yoda, bro, all
yeah,
day.
yeah. Jeremy actually was along similar lines, but he picked the one from The Last Jedi where he's telling Luke this that yeah. I was like that. I was
Oh,
like, that's one of the only highlights of that movie for me. But that was a very cool
yeah,
moment. Yeah,
that
I was
was
like, that
good
is
too.
perfect.
Yeah,
That is perfect.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Now you could go so many ways with this next question. If
Mhm.
you could invite 3 Star Wars characters, not the actors, the characters, to a dinner party,
Ooh,
who would you invite?
characters. Oh
Characters, yeah.
crap.
Mm,
So Yoda, because it's a party, I want to get the
yeah,
little guy drunk.
yeah.
So Yoda lit would just start saying crazy things. So Yoda for sure. Um, dude, Dexter Jetster, bro, let's
For
go.
sure, for sure.
Let's go. He'll be the one handing out the drinks
Yep,
with all his arms,
yep.
right? And then I might have to bring Mullet Obi-Wan, bro.
Yeah,
Mullet Obi-Wan.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Love it,
Mullet
love it.
over one, or like Anakin Attack of the Clones, young
Yep,
Anakin.
yep,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, love it. Now, looking into the future of Star Wars, what are your hopes for the future? Not in terms of, like, it can be the content or just, like, the
Dude,
franchise as a whole. What do you wanna see?
bro, I just want consistency. Dude,
Yeah,
like looking at Marvel,
yeah.
Marvel has stuff to look forward to.
I
Like
know,
I love
they're
Marvel
eating right
too,
now.
and I have Avengers Doomsday,
Yep,
Secret Wars, Fantastic Four,
yep,
Spider-Man 4, X-Men movie, like Daredevil looks
yep.
crazy. There's so much stuff to look forward to. For us, Star Wars,
Mm,
bro, we know we're getting Andor season 2, which looks good, and I'm
yep,
not an Andor fan, but it looks good.
yeah, yeah.
Ahsoka season 2, Skeleton Crew, and that's it. And
Mm.
then all these movies, dude, every I'm sick of the movies getting announced. Every
Ugh.
celebration, the last 2 celebrations I've been to,
Yeah,
they announced movies, and none of them exist now. It's like
yeah,
London Celebration, they announced the Ray movie, and we were confused, like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
And then Filoni, like, yes. And then James Mangold. But like James Mangold movie, like, what's going on with that?
yeah.
That's like silence. The
Mhm.
Ray movie just lost their third writer, so there's no
I know,
script.
yeah.
What?
Yep.
And Filoni's cooking with his, like, he's writing. So we know Filoni's coming eventually,
Mm,
but that's a couple years out.
yeah,
And then they throw the Hail Mary of the Favreau movie, which cool. That's good. That I'd rather that be the first movie back than
yep,
the Ray movie because I feel better with Mando
yeah,
versus Ray.
yeah,
But the only thing that I want is just a consistent vision, a consistent plan. And if you don't announce it unless it's happening.
exactly.
Like, don't announce.
Mm.
I swear to God, bro, if we're in Japan and they announce 3 more movies, I'm walking out of the panel. I'm like, do you have a script? Do you have a director? Because it's stupid.
I know, yeah, yeah.
That in the past, what, 4 or 5 years, what, like 9 movies have been announced, all
Mm,
these movies, and they all disappear or are shelved.
yeah,
It gets old, bro. I hate
yeah,
seeing it every day.
yeah,
This about the Ray movie, that about the Ray movie. Either make it or don't.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
come on.
I think I can't remember who did it, but someone did a video on, like, going back to December 2020 when Ahsoka and Kenobi and all that got announced. Every project that's been announced since then
A
and what's
lot
actually come to fruition and what hasn't, and the ratio was insane, dude.
bad. Maybe 25% of it came out.
Yeah,
It's
it's
bad.
insane.
Lando show, the droid story, uh
It was Rogue
Feige
Squadron, yeah,
was supposed to have a movie,
that's
Rogue
right, yeah,
Squadron. Ryan Johnson was supposed to get more
yeah,
movies. The guys from Stranger Things were supposed to get
that's
a
right,
movie.
yeah,
The guys from Game of Thrones were supposed to get a
mm,
movie. Dude,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
nothing, bro.
I saw a quick it because 'cause I'm already hyped for the Filoni movie, like, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to
Oh,
the most because 'cause I've
yeah.
come up with, like, a million different ideas in my head, And I think someone asked him, like, "Have you started writing it?" Yeah, he's like, "I've come up with an intro," and he's like,
He
"This
loves.
intro is going to be unreal." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I've already thought of, like, a million different things we could get," but yeah, yeah, it's gonna be unreal. Um,
Yep.
are there any stories or characters that you'd like to see explored in future films or series?
Plagueis, baby,
Yeah.
man. The Plagueis novel, dude, Plagueis is one of my favorite Sith. Like,
Mm.
he was wasted in that show. Like, dude, like that book. You've read the book, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Dude, that book, that dude is got some balls on him. My favorite part of the book is when he's somewhere and there's 3 Jedi talking, and it's like Jocasta Nu,
Yeah.
maybe like Qui-Gon and somebody else. It was 3 Jedi, and my man was like, "I'm gonna go up and see if they sense me," and he walked up to
Yeah, he
them,
just walked straight up
ta
to him.
ta was talking to them casually,
Mm.
and they didn't sense that this is Darth Plagueis the Wise in
Yeah.
front of you. That reading that blew my mind, like, "Yo, this
Mm.
guy has a sack on him. That's
Yeah.
crazy."
Yeah.
So I would love stuff with Plagueis,
Yeah.
man. Him finding young Palps,
Yeah.
training him finding out Palps is training Maul on the side.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it I would love that so
Yeah.
much.
I love I love because I've learned so much more about midichlorians and that through that book. And the way like,
Yeah.
he was a sicko. He would injure people to the point that they were going to die, but not that they were dead, just so he could, like, meditate on how the midichlorians interacted with their body and left it. I was like, "That is
Yeah, man.
insane, dude." That is
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, but I suppose getting towards wrapping it up, what does Tony from Star Wars Sith like to do in his free time? What do you like to get up to, man?
Oh, man. So if dude, free time doesn't exist, but if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do have it,
yeah,
I love taking naps,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
like so since I'm in Florida, there's a lot of, like, theme parks, so, like,
yeah,
I have, like, the annual pass to Busch Gardens, so sometimes it's fun to go there,
yeah,
grab a beer,
yeah,
walk around, vibe,
yeah,
right? Like, I love going to zoos, bro, because I
yeah,
love just going to a zoo, a good
yeah,
zoo, get a beer, and just look at monkeys doing monkey stuff, bro. Like, so random, but it's nice just to be outdoors and just
yeah,
chill
for
and
sure.
vibe like that for
Yeah.
sure, and lately, I've been watching a lot of, like, random YouTube videos of card conventions, of people going
Yeah,
to card shows
yeah,
and buying, selling, trading
yeah.
Pokemon cards. Yo, these dudes spend
I
crazy
know.
money.
Yeah,
So it's fun watching that and
yeah,
them dropping thousands to buy this. Then they go over here and
mm,
sell it, and then they do this. So
mm,
that is like relaxing to me,
yeah,
probably because it's nothing to do with what I do in Star Wars. So it's not like I'm like, oh, maybe I could make a video like this or do that. I'm
yeah,
just enjoying it for what it is. So like random stuff like that whenever I have free time, um, which is rare, bro. I
yeah,
rarely have free
yeah,
time,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Um, Now where can people find you? If people that haven't seen you before are watching this, where can people find you?
YouTube, Instagram, Star Wars Sit 66 on both platforms.
Yep. Beautiful. And we'll drop the links to those in the description below if you want to go check Tony out. If you want regular Star Wars content, whether you're into whether you're into the lore, the toys, the hobby, anything to do with it, you will find it on this man's channel. He grinds like no one else. Um, Tony, thank you so much for coming on, man. When I was coming up with
Yes.
a list of people I wanted to get on here, you were one of the first names that popped up. Um, yeah, no, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Bro, thank you for having me, man.
Of
This was
course.
so much fun.
Unreal. No, unreal. That's it for this episode, guys. Episode number 2. I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, may the force be with you always.